Hey everybody, this is Sonia with Melanin Goddess Life. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another astrological reading, actually a celebrity reading. So yes, we're going to be highlighting another celebrity today. First and foremost, I hope everyone is having an awesome day, afternoon, evening, whenever you're looking at this video. But yes, we're highlighting another celebrity. This one is going to be in the hip hop industry. Now, I don't know too much about this particular person, but I decided I don't know, for whatever reason, I saw him as I was scrolling on Instagram. He kind of grabbed my attention, so I decided, okay, this is going to be the one for the day. The person that we're going to be highlighting today is going to be rapper Meek Mill. Okay, so yeah, we're going to be highlighting rapper Meek Mill. We're going to get started straight into the reading. And like I said before, I don't know too much about him. However, I did see him as I was scrolling on Instagram, and for whatever reason, I just kind of connected with this picture. So I just said, well, let me just go ahead and do a reading on him. Maybe there was something to it. And then when I saw his natal chart, I was like, okay, this is probably why he jumped out at me. So without further ado, let's get started. Meek Mill was born May the 6th, 1987. I do not have a birth time for him, so you know how we do it over here. Without the birth time, the rising sign may be a little bit off, so it's going to be 50-50, but we're going to proceed nonetheless. He was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and he is currently 35 years old, which makes him a Taurus sun, Leo moon, and a Leo rising. And that Leo rising is probably what made him jump out to me, because he and I share the same rising sign, if his rising sign is accurate. Now, he's a Taurus sun. Of course, he has a Leo moon. Leo moon people, Leo rising people, the sign of Leo is the sign of the entertainer. So it's not a shock to me that he is in the entertainment industry. As far as his Leo moon, this is probably going to make him very passionate about things that are close to his heart. Typically, Leo moon people wear their emotions on their sleeves. So I'm sure he's very expressive with how he feels, his thoughts, his emotions, how he feels, things that he's passionate about. He's probably very, very much expressive of that through words, through deeds, and probably through his music. Now, I did his well, let's do the theme of his year. So each birthday, the theme of our birthday year kind of changes, and we focus on a different energy, or things in a certain area become very prominent in our lives. So he's 35 years old. So the theme of 35 for him, which would have started this last birthday, May 2022, to his next birthday, 2023, have everything to do with the things that have to do with the 12th house. Now, the 12th house is what we consider the hidden house. This is the house of healing, the house of closure. This is the house where we hold our traumas and our hurts. This is the spiritual house. This is the house that that connects us to the afterlife. And this is also the house of specialized populations. So this would be hospitals, rehab centers, and prisons. So for him, the theme of this birthday year until his next birthday have everything to do with things that have to do with the 12th house. So this is going to look like a lot of addressing of any traumas and hurts that he's had in his life, disappointments that he's had in his life. This would be energy around him possibly going into therapy or some kind of counseling, or doing some deep psychological and deep spiritual work on himself. This could also look like him, because it's the house of specialized populations, having interactions or activity around places of confinement or with people of confinement. Now, this could look like someone having a hospital stay. Maybe he has a hospital stay. Or this could look like him being connected with those that are in a prison setting, or things that have to do with prison or jail of some sort. I'm not really sure how that plays out in people's lives, whatever that looks like for him. This could put him in contact with those types of activities or those types of energies. But this is all about energy around him really healing himself. When we do work within the 12th house, sometimes it can make us want to isolate ourselves, take ourselves away from our everyday activities, or maybe the people that are around us, or we just feel like we want to be more introspective. So we don't get out as much, but he has to really be careful with that because that can set up a little bit of depression of some sort. And he may actually be battling with that and trying to figure out a way to take care of himself. This is all about self-care during this window. So that's what he's going to be focusing on, like I said, from his last birthday till his next birthday of 2023. Now, I did his relationship activity age. He's currently 35 years old, and I do this with all my clients, personal clients, and the celebrity readings because I want to figure out when a person will be in the energy of relationships, romantic relationships. And it's going to look like whatever is currently going on with them or whatever place they are in their life with regards to their romantic life. So I did Meek's calculations. I did come up with the age in which I feel like something may transition for him with regards to his love life, just depending on where he is. So this would look like if he's single, this could possibly be him meeting someone, and that relationship turns into a long-term committed relationship. Second scenario would be if he's currently in a relationship, which I don't know what his relationship status is, but if he's currently in a relationship and the relationship is going well, this could look like putting permanence on the relationship. So this could be maybe moving in together, maybe getting engaged, getting married, or making some long-term commitment to the other person. Third scenario could be if he's in a relationship and it's not going well. This could definitely put pressure on the relationship with the potential for a breakup. And the fourth scenario would be this could also be Meek getting really serious about what he wants in relationships, what he wants in a partner, and working on himself with regards to how he does relationships. The age in which I came up with that there should be some type of transition, change, or movement around his romantic life is actually the age of 35. So he is currently in relationship energy, but also looking at his transit chart right now, there's some other stuff that's going on with his chart that supports the possibility of him moving in a direction of making a commitment of some sort, or settling down, or making some type of significant change with regards to his love life. So currently 35 is the age in which we could see something happen for Meek by way of his love life. Okay. So let's get started with looking at his transits and what's going on with him and what's coming up for him in the next few months. The first place we're going to talk about is Jupiter. Now, Jupiter is the planet of expansion, growth, opportunity, abundance, wisdom, and optimism. Of course, when Jupiter comes through a house or goes through a sign, it's there to expand whatever house it's in, and bring it a big blessing and bringing in opportunities. Literally today, Jupiter has changed signs. It has left the sign of Pisces and is now in the sign of Aries. Now, it will stay there until May 17th, 2023. So for Meek, this is going to be highlighting the area of his life that has everything to do with higher education, long distance travel, foreigners or foreign related business. This is also the area of spirituality, religion, and the law is also here. So things that we could see happening for him from today actually and for the next 5 months is the possibility of him deciding to go into an area of study. So this could look like him going to college, going back to college. Maybe he's thinking about obtaining a degree of some sort, educating himself on something that he's wanted to educate himself on. This will also look like him doing a lot of international travel, and the opportunity to travel abroad. So that's going to be a big deal for him for the next 5 months. Now, this could also put him in the contact of foreigners. So, of course, with the international travel, he comes in contact with people that are outside of the norm. So when we think about foreigners, of course, we think about people of another race, of another culture, from another country. Or this could actually be simply just people outside of what he normally aligns himself with are going to play a big role in his life over the next 5 months. Now, what this can also do is this actually may trigger some type of spiritual awakening for him. He may start to think about his religious beliefs, his spiritual practices. Now, what could happen is with him traveling abroad and doing this international travel, it will give him the opportunity possibly to see how other cultures and how other people around the world worship, and maybe finding there is a kind of new form of spirituality or new form of religion or worship that more aligns with him, and he starts to educate himself on how other cultures worship. This 5 months for him can very well be impactful for him in a very spiritual type way. Now, this also is the area that governs legal proceedings, legal situations, the law. I'm not sure if he has some type of legal situation going on with him, or if he's tied up in the justice system or the legal system of some way. But this is definitely could highlight and bring more of his awareness and more of his time and attention to that. Now, if he's tied up in a personal legal situation for himself, this Jupiter in his Aries definitely could be on his side with regards to finding a favorable outcome with that. I'm not really sure how that legal component ties into him, but this could also come up with him for him in the next 5 months. So he has a lot of supportive energy in the next 5 months around this area of his life. Like I said, educational pursuits, international travel, foreigners, foreign business, how he worships, and any type of legal situation he has going on. Now, subsequently, he's at the same time he's going to be experiencing his Jupiter return, because his natal Jupiter is actually in the sign of Aries. So this is going to doubly trigger that. So this is a huge blessing around this area of his life. Whatever is going on in this area, I want him to really focus on that, because over the next 5 months, this is where he's going to have a lot of blessings, a lot of happiness, a lot of success, whatever this is for him. It just looks really good for him. Now, what's going to happen after that, starting May 17th, 2023 to May 25th, 2024, his Jupiter will then go into, well, everyone's Jupiter will go into the sign of Taurus, and it will stay there for a full year. It's going to be highlighting his Taurus sun. Meek has, from now until May 2024, he's going to have a very favorable year around this time. He's going to have a lot of blessings that is coming to him. There's going to be a lot of change, a lot of growth, a lot of opportunity. If he's found himself feeling very stagnant, or he feels like his life has just been in a standstill and he hasn't been moving forward, this energy that starting today for him and continuing on till May 2024 is going to support Meek in the best way. He's going to be divinely blessed and divinely protected. So I want him to be leaning into that energy. This is all about him. This is all about people coming into his life, blessings coming into his life, opportunity coming into his life, his energy starting to lift and him feeling more optimistic. He has some great energy around him for every aspect of his life, particularly when we get to May 2023 and we have that window of a year of May 2024. Meek's career is going to be on fire. He is going to have so many blessings and opportunities around his career. It is just going to look just like nothing he's ever experienced before. I hope that he has been making plans. He's going to be in connection with the right people. He's going to be very favorable. There's just going to be a lot of positive energy around him in the area of his career. Now, he also has, at the same time, Uranus, the planet of unpredictability and unexpected change, is still going to be in this area in the 10th house of his career. And it's been there since 2018. So I anticipate that he's had a lot of ups and downs when it came to his career, extreme changes, extreme ups, extreme downs. So at this point, he's kind of used to the instability or the ever never ending changes around his career. Now he will continue to have that energy around him until at least about 2025 in the area of his career. But this Jupiter is coming in to work with that energy. So there will still be surprises and changes, but they will be more beneficial to him, and they'll just be more advantageous to him with regards to his career. I'm excited to see what's going to happen with him with this spirituality and his spiritual awakening, his education, and all of that stuff that he has going on over the next 5 months. And then when he gets over to his career house and Jupiter gets there, it is going to take off career-wise. And actually, in all aspects of his life, he's going to see very much a change. Now, a side note on this 10th house is also a relationship house. So, even though I gave him the age of 35, and anything could happen in the next few months, I'm going to say that the entire year of May 2023 to May 2024, that energy of relationship could still be with him, because he's going to have Jupiter in the 10th house, and we do consider the 10th house a relationship house, but we look at it more or less where we're making a long-term solid commitment, because the 10th house, among other things, is about our career, but it's also about our public image, our public standing, our reputation. So this is a lot of favor and blessing around his reputation. He could be receiving some kind of accolade or some kind of awards during that year. But this is also the house that governs titles. And when we see activity in the 10th house, especially with it being a favorable activity like this, your titles could change. So he could have a career change title in that area, but he also could have a relationship title. So he could go from being titled as Meek the Bachelor to Meek someone's boyfriend, or Meek someone's boyfriend to fiance, or fiance to husband. His title could change not only around his career and what he's known as in the public, but it can change as what he's known at in his personal life. So I hope I explained that. So this is why I'm still going to say that even after he has his next birthday, he's still going to have some positive, supportive relationship energy around him that's going to last him at least until May 2024. So we could see a lot happening with him. There's going to be a lot of favor. He may be, like I said, be getting a lot of awards, a lot of recognition. Now this Jupiter, that's in his 9th house, I'm wondering if he's planning to go on some kind of tour. He could be touring and start touring outside of the country. Maybe that's what's happening with that. But I'm excited to see what's going to happen with him between now and May 2024, which is a lot. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is he has Neptune in the 8th house. The 8th house is the house of other people's money and other people's resources. This is the benefits and gains that we get through someone else. This is not our individual earnings. This is the house of inheritances, shared finances, resources, investments, business, connections, and the house of sex and intimacy. So he's had Neptune in this house for quite a bit of time. It's going to be there for a few more years. I'm just going to put it that way. Neptune is a planet of our imagination. It's a planet of dreams. It's a planet of illusion. Sometimes it's a planet of confusion, and sometimes confusing ourselves or not seeing things clearly, or possibly deceiving ourselves or being deceived by others. Now, when it is in the 8th house, which it has been for several years, And I don't know if he's noticed this or he's realized this or maybe something has happened. When it's in the eighth house of other people's money and shared resources and shared finances, this could definitely put you in the space of being vulnerable to people that are taking advantage of you with regards to business dealings, money, and things of that nature. So I'm wondering if he's had the situation where he's actually found out people have been stealing from him, or he is not being paid accordingly with regards to business deals. I would say to him, if he's not already done this before, he really needs to do an independent audit of his finances, especially those that he shares with another person or another company or in conjunction with someone else, especially dealings with contracts around his career. He may need to be renegotiating that. He may need to be looking at people that have been responsible for taking care of his finances just to make sure everything has been on the up and up. Hopefully, he has not been deceived in some way with regards to that, but I wouldn't be surprised. Now, when it comes to this area, it also covers sex and intimacy. So, with it being Neptune there, I would caution him on who he's connecting with on a sexual level and an intimacy level. He has to really be careful about who he's sharing himself with. Now, we have to remember that sex and intimacy are two different things. Sex is the act, and intimacy is the connection with another person. So he needs to really just be careful on whom he's sharing his body with and his intimate self with over the next few years. Okay. Next thing we're going to talk about is his Pluto in the sixth house. Pluto is one of those slow moving planets. It takes about 20 years to go through a house. So he has a few more years of it being in his sixth house of health and fitness, which is mental and physical health, his work environment, his service to others, pets, things of that nature. So when we have Pluto there, this is like a transformative energy. This is the death and the rebirth of things, literally and figuratively. So it's been in this area of his life for a few years, but I try to look at the degrees in which the Pluto is orbiting, because that tells you a lot when the Pluto is going to get activated. It's at the 27th degree, so it's inching up on the area that we consider critical. Meek needs to really start to take serious note of how he takes care of his body. This is also the area that governs the foods that we eat. There needs to be a big transformation on what he eats and how he eats. And this is not a diet. This is a lifestyle change. He needs to really start to be mindful of his physical body and how he's taking care of himself. And most importantly, he needs to be taking care of his mental health. If he has not considered going to therapy, this will be a great time for him to consider going to therapy, whatever therapy looks like for him. Now, I am a big advocate of traditional therapy, but I'm also an advocate of holistic methods of healing oneself and also making therapy look what it needs to look like for the individual person. So in addition to possibly professional therapy, he can start taking up things that help and assist with that. So he can start thinking about doing meditation, Reiki, breath work. He could be doing hiking, cleansing, doing cleanses, getting himself an astrologer. Whatever therapy looks like for him that helps him with his mental health, that is going to be very, very important, especially in conjunction with all the blessings that are coming his way. He wants his mind to be as clear as possible to make these decisions around this great career energy that's coming up for him. So hopefully he sees this and he takes my advice and starts to consider therapy. But it's very important, again, with his physical health, taking care of his physical body, transforming his eating habits. And let me tell you something. Taurus are notorious for overindulging in the wrong things. They like good food. So even though he may be slim and trim, does not necessarily mean healthy. We need to get away from believing just because someone is skinny or slim that they're naturally healthy. That is far from the truth. So being very mindful of his body and making changes around what he eats and puts in his body. Now, this is also transformation around his work environment. And because his 10th house of career is about to get triggered, his work environment is going to change. He may actually needs to start thinking about restructuring his team, the people he works with, around, and for. He may need to start thinking about bringing in new people that he's working with, assessing these old dynamics he has with the people that works around him, and there may be the need to have a complete overhaul with his team. I'm just going to leave that there. Now, one of the last things we're going to talk about is his 7th house of one-on-one relationships. So the 7th house, one-on-one relationships, marriage, long-term committed relationships, business relationships, family, friends. These are the conscious chosen relationships we go into with another person. And this is also the space of legal proceedings also. He has the planet Saturn here. Now, the Saturn is all about putting down a foundation, doing the work. It's the planet of restriction. It's the planet of duty. It's the planet of really getting serious and putting down a foundation. It is going through his 7th house, and it has been going through his 7th house here for the last year. So Saturn typically takes about 2 to 2.5 years to go through a house. It has a little bit more time still here in this area. But what Saturn does is it comes through the house and it asks, let's get serious about this area of our life. What do you want, Meek? What do you want in a relationship? What do you want in a partner? What are the things that you need to work on yourself to make you a better partner? Now, keep in mind, it's not just romantic relationships. It's relationships across the board and how he does one-on-one relationships. So Saturn is there to whip you into shape. What it will also do is it will start to take people out of those one-on-one relationships that no longer have a purpose there. And you have to trust Saturn to release these people and let them go and not try to hold them back. But what it will start to do is bring more people into your life that more aligned with the path that you're on, more aligned with you getting serious about the long term, because Saturn is not about the short term. Saturn is all about the long term. So this will definitely have him getting serious on how he does one-on-one relationships. Now, could this bring on a serious relationship to him? Absolutely. Absolutely. But what Saturn requires us to do is to do the work, and then we get the reward. Saturn is the complete opposite of Jupiter. It just comes in, and Jupiter wants to come in and just start giving you stuff and blessing you. And it's nothing wrong with that. But Saturn says, I'm a little bit different. I want you to learn the lesson. I want you to get it. And then once I know you got it, then I'm going to bring the blessing to you. So this area of his life, he's been going through it. He's really been learning how to do one-on-one relationships in a healthy way. And again, not just romantic, business, family, friends, those types of dynamics. He's been really going through it with regards to those one-on-one relationships. Now, final area we're going to talk about for him has to do with the nodes. And they're the nodes of destiny. So we have the North Node and the South Node. The North Node is all about our destiny, where we're going to, where we're trying to get to, where we're growing. And the South Node is where we've been. Now, if you are a believer in past lives, the South Node will represent past lives that you've had. And what that means is, you know how to do this because you've already worked this. You've already been and had this in a lifetime. Now, if you don't necessarily believe in past lives, the South Node does represent things that naturally you know how to do. So what the South Node wants us to do is release those things. They no longer serve a purpose. Release them. So he's had the North Node in his 10th house and the South Node in his fourth house. Now, the nodes are going to change, I think, later next year around July. So he still has some time until the summertime So what that means is the nodes are transiting his 10th house of career, new opportunities, new growth, changes in his career. So the North Node is about supporting you on moving your career life, moving Meek's career life forward. This is going to be great, especially when that Jupiter gets there in May. Even though it's only a two month window they'll be together, it's very, very impactful. So while the North Node is working on his career and moving him into the place and position he's supposed to be in, the South Node is down in the 4th house of his family. So again, the 4th house is about releasing things. Some of the things that can happen when we have a transiting North Node in the 4th house is we deal with family dynamics. We deal with things with regards to our family, and that could be family we come from, family we make for ourselves. But we deal with those areas that we may not necessarily want to deal with. We deal with situations and dynamics with family related that we may have thought was settled, but really weren't. So sometimes those dynamics and those issues come back up for us to look at it again. So another thing that could be triggered here is a move during this time. And we pay attention a lot to our mother or the feminine energy around us in the 4th house. So I don't know if he's had a move in the last year because the nodes stay in here about a year and a half. So I don't know if there's been a physical house change or a move for him, or something with the dynamics of his family could have come up in the last year in a way for him to learn how to do family, to release anything that has been holding him back with regards to family related dynamics. Because I know everybody knows that family related dynamics, family trauma, family issues can really play a part in how you move through life. So that may have been a concept for him dealing with that over the last year. He has until about July to deal with some family dynamics. We have another eclipse that's coming up that may kind of rock him in this area. I think around April. I can't remember, next year. Maybe October. I can't remember the exact date, but he has one more pass of an eclipse through his 4th house of family that may shake that up a little bit. But those are the dynamics around the 4th house. So to sum it up, Meek Mill, I'm excited to see what's going to go on with him career-wise. He has some of the most positive career energy I've seen in a very, very long time. So like I said, anywhere from now until next May, he's going to be dealing with the 9th house issues that we've outlined. But when that Jupiter goes into his, Jupiter in Taurus goes into his sun sign on May the 7th, 2023 to May 2024, his career is going to be in such a great place. It is going to look phenomenal. And he's probably going to be so surprised on how it takes off. Now, so he has some great career energy coming up for him. He has another pass of potential family dynamics coming up next year. Still working on how he does one-on-one relationships is going to be a theme for him. And we're going to see where his love life takes him, because of course, a lot can happen between now and his next birthday in May. So we may be hearing about him being in a long-term committed relationship, engaged, married, moving in with someone, something significant happening around that area. So I hope you've enjoyed this brief reading that we did on Meek Mill. Hopefully he sees it. And if he wants to reach out with me and he has some questions, please do so. If you are interested in a personal reading with me, please visit my website at www.melaningoddesslife.biz. I'm about to update the appointment dates for January in there. So go in there and see if there's anything that you would be interested in. And if you are, you can use the coupon code New Year New Me 23. I'll put it down here at the bottom somewhere. New Year New Me 23 on select readings through the month of January. Take advantage of that. Thank you so much for your time, and you have a great day. Bye-bye.